Let me start by saying something that might just immediately get me kicked out of the content creators internet group chat. I'm not chasing viral content. Not because I'm above it, not because I think I'm smarter than anybody, and definitely not because I think viral content is fake or pointless. Viral content is very real. We see it every day. It works. People build entire careers off of it. I just realized it's not the thing that I actually want to build my creative life around. And once I stopped pretending that it was, creating got a lot easier. It got a lot more peaceful, meaningful. The internet has taught us all the wrong goal. For a long time, I thought going viral was the goal. Not because anybody specifically told me that it was, but because the internet implies it constantly. Big numbers mean success. Big spikes mean you're doing something right. And if something doesn't blow up, it kind of feels like it failed, especially when you're starting out and the numbers are so small. You post something you genuinely care about. You put thought into it. You edit. You hit publish. 10 views. Your brain immediately goes, well, that didn't work. Then you open the app again and see someone filming themselves chewing cereal or pointing at a floating text and screaming into the microphone, putting zero effort into their video, and they have millions of views, tens of millions of views. Heck, wasn't one of the most trending pictures ever an egg? Now you're questioning your ideas, your intelligence, your life choices, possibly your entire personality. Not possibly. We all question our personalities. That comparison game, it's brutal, and it messes with your head kind of in a very specific way, because you start to think, maybe I don't need better ideas. Maybe I just need to be louder. Maybe I don't need substance. I just need a better hook. Maybe I don't need to say what I actually think. I just need to say what works. That's a slippery slope. Here's the thing no one really talks about. Viral content is loud, but it's also really fragile. It shows up fast, it burns hot, and then it disappears just as quickly. Most people find you through one viral moment. They're not actually interested in you. They're interested in that one joke, the one clip, the one hot take about whatever's happening in the world that day, that one format or style of video. And that doesn't make them bad people. It just means they're scrolling. They didn't come to build a relationship. They came to be entertained for 12 seconds. And if you build your entire creative identity on those 12 seconds, you're going to spend the rest of your time trying to recreate lightning, which is exhausting. At some point, I had to ask myself, I guess a very uncomfortable question, but a very clarifying one. Do I want attention? Or do I want something sustainable? Because those are not remotely the same thing. Attention's easy to spike and brutally hard to maintain. Sustainability feels more slow, boring, and incredibly hard to quit. Attention asks, how do I make this bigger? How do I make it louder? How do I make this more dramatic? Whereas sustainability asks, how do I make this survivable? How do I make this fit into my life? How do I make this something I don't resent in 6 months? I don't want to wake up every day feeling like I have to top whatever I did last time. I don't want to sit down to create and immediately think, okay, how do I escalate this? How do I raise the stakes? How do I keep people from getting bored with me? I don't want to exaggerate my opinions just to be interesting. I don't want to manufacture urgency just to keep somebody's retention. And I definitely don't want to turn my personality into a performance. To me, that just sounds like a fast track to burnout. Here's what I actually want. I want something I don't hate showing up for. I want to enjoy the process, not just tolerate it because the numbers look good. I want content that fits into my real life, not content that takes it over. I want to be able to create alongside my work, my family, responsibilities, actual human existence. And I want an audience that's here because they connect with the ideas, not because I tricked them into watching a clip once. That changes everything. When you're not chasing viral spikes, you stop asking, will this perform? And you start asking, would I still stand by this a year from now? Does this actually sound like me? Would I say this the same if it was off camera? Do people actually resonate with this? Can I help somebody with what I have to say? That's a much calmer way to create, much more meaningful, at least, and more authentic. Here's something people don't talk about enough. When something blows up, people don't just want more from you. They want the same thing again. That joke, that tone, that format. You become the guy who does that thing. And the moment you try to evolve, slow down, or shift directions, people leave. Not because you did anything wrong, but because they were never there for you in the first place. Just look at Hollywood. Look at Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey. Nobody ever wanted them to do anything serious. They just wanted the dumb comedy. You get typecast. They were there for a transaction. You give them a specific dopamine hit. They give you the view. That's not a relationship. That's not a community. And building a creative life on transactions instead of relationships is exhausting. It just feels like lying all the time, and you have to keep up with the lies. I'm way more interested in slow growth, the kind where someone watches a video, then maybe watches another one, then subscribes, then actually comes back. The kind where comments can turn into conversations instead of just reactions, where people can recognize your tone, they understand your pacing, they don't expect you to be on all the time. That kind of growth doesn't spike, it compounds. And compounding is boring in the beginning, but it becomes unstoppable later. There's another uncomfortable truth. Viral content does not automatically equal income. Connection does. Brands don't partner with you because one video popped off. They partner with you because your audience trusts you. Your audience actually listens. Your audience sticks around for more than 12 seconds. They care about consistency. They care about your tone. They care about whether your audience actually pays attention. None of that can come from chasing spikes. It comes from showing up in a way that's repeatable. I also think a lot about millennials, whether we say it out loud or not, are kind of over the viral chase. We've watched platforms rise and fall. We've watched many creators burn out in real time. We've watched people become trapped by the very thing that made them popular, unable to slow down, unable to change, unable to be human without risking everything. Most of us don't want that. We want balance. We want to create without feeling like our entire identity is on the line every time we post. We want to build something that can coexist with real life, not replace it. We want to miss a day or a week without feeling like the whole thing collapses. That's not laziness, that's maturity. I don't need a million people watching one video. I'd rather have a few hundred or a few thousand people who actually care. People who recognize the tone, who understand the pace. People who don't expect constant escalation. People who are okay with growth being steady instead of spectacular. That mindset changes everything. You stop chasing trends that don't fit you. You stop forcing hooks that feel fake. You stop panicking when something doesn't perform. And ironically, that's when the content starts feeling more honest. Could something I make go viral someday? Sure, absolutely. If it happens, great. I'm not going to complain. But I don't want that to be the foundation. I want the foundation to be strong enough that if nothing ever explodes, it'll still grow. Because growth doesn't have to be dramatic to be meaningful. I think a lot of creators quit, not because they're bad at this, but because they tie their self-worth to the performance. One video does well, they feel great. One video flops, they question everything. That emotional whiplash, it'll wear you down fast. And I get it. I'm brand new as it is right now. I know what it's like to go from one video gets 2 or 3 likes to one gets a few hundred the same or the next day. And you don't really understand why. emotionally detaching yourself from it is incredibly important. Just make the content you want to make. And the thing is, it's optional. You can choose different metrics, whether it's consistency, connection, longevity. Those don't spike. They compound over time. Forward focus isn't about chasing attention. It's about building something I can show up for honestly, something that fits into my life instead of competing with it, something I don't have to reinvent every week just to survive the algorithm. So if you're a creator who feels pressure to be louder, faster, more extreme, or more dramatic just to be seen, take a breath. You're allowed to build slowly. You're allowed to create calmly. There's no rules here. You're allowed to care more about sustainability than spikes. I'm not chasing viral content. I'm chasing something that lasts. And if that sounds boring to the internet, that's fine. It sounds sustainable to me. Don't do this for anybody else's opinion. That's the fastest way to burn out. If this perspective resonates with you, stick around. Subscribe if you want. I'm going to keep building this, hopefully one honest video at a time. That's what Forward Focus is. I'll see y'all in the next one.